Do you remember reading about World War Roman III? What if I told you that a simple typo almost led us there? If you think about how a small mistake can create monumental consequences in our lives, imagine the stakes when it comes to international relations and nuclear warfare. Let's dive into this astonishing tale, one that schools rarely share but is crucial for understanding our fragile grip on peace. In the early 1980s, the world was gripped by the tension of the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a standoff, their arsenals packed with enough nuclear weapons to wipe out humanity several times over. Both sides were quick on the trigger, constantly on the lookout for any sign of aggression from the other. In this high-stakes environment, even the slightest misunderstanding could lead to catastrophe. Now, let's rewind to one of those fateful moments, specifically, a terrifying event in 1983 known as the Exercise Auburn Sea. This was a massive military drill that, on the surface, seemed like just another routine exercise to demonstrate military readiness. However, things took a dark turn when the Soviet Union misinterpreted this exercise as an actual invasion by US forces. Imagine being in Moscow at that time, room full of generals and analysts staring at radar screens, the sound of alarms blaring as they witnessed what they thought was a full-scale attack. Then picture one of those analysts, with a pile of reports in front of him, typing away to confirm what they believed was an incoming missile strike. But wait, right amidst the frenzy, a single keystroke goof-up occurred. Instead of confirming a small-scale military maneuver, the message morphed into the notion that the United States had launched a surprise nuclear attack. This wasn't just a simple email error. This typo had the power to alter the fabric of human existence. Thankfully, one individual, Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov, was monitoring the situation. He had a gut feeling that something wasn't right, part intuition, part training. Rather than hitting the panic button, he questioned the alert. Remember, in his shoes, it was his duty to report any sign of aggression, but that small voice in his head told him to verify. Now, here's where we realize the fragility of our existence. While the systems were programmed to react to potential threats, the humans operating them had to be fallible yet discerning. Colonel Petrov took a deep breath and made the call to dismiss the warnings. That single decision, stemming from a typo and a moment of clear-headed skepticism, averted a potential nuclear holocaust. It raises a mind-blowing question. How often do we overlook the profound effects of small errors in our everyday lives? A missed call, a wrong text, or a typo could inadvertently change the course of someone's life, propelling that into the realm of geopolitics. And we're reminded that our world remains sculpted by the decisions of individuals in high-tension scenarios. But this isn't merely about a near miss. It offers a layered perspective on human behavior, indeed, a reflection of what it means to navigate uncertainty. Colonel Petrov later stated that the world was saved because of just one person's ability to think. Does that tell you something? It emphasizes how our beliefs, thoughts, and choices intersect in life-altering ways. Now, let's switch gears and delve into the realm of historical misconceptions, shall we? Consider the story of the Great Wall of China. Many believe it to be an invincible fortress built solely for protecting against invasions. But here's the twist. It was primarily a means to regulate trade and collect taxes. Does it change how we view this monumental accomplishment? Rather than a simple architectural feat, it represents the complex intersection of economy, politics, and social structure in ancient China. Building on the theme of paradoxes, we often romanticize the notion of exploration and adventure. For example, Christopher Columbus is hailed as a hero for discovering the Americas. However, it's vital to acknowledge that millions of indigenous people were already living there, facing devastating consequences due to the arrival of Columbus and other explorers. This untold narrative requires us to confront the darker aspects of such discovery and reflect on who gets to write history. Then there's the unsung hero, Katrina vanden Heuvel, the founder of the nation, who played a pivotal role in the formation of various social movements in the 1960s and 70s. Vanden Heuvel pushed against the prevailing narrative, offering remarkable insights into the civil rights movement and the anti-war movements that shaped our modern era. It's a reminder that history isn't a linear narrative, but instead a tapestry of intertwined accounts that require our critical evaluation. And speaking of critical evaluation, how about we touch upon the mundane aspect of everyday life? The humble potato. Did you know this tuber is directly responsible for the population explosion in Europe during the 19th century? With the introduction of the potato, food security improved drastically, allowing families to thrive and reproduce. Once again, it showcases how societal shifts can hinge on something as simple as a delicious carbohydrate. What a fascinating twist, isn't it? Life can be full of mind-boggling surprises, but here's a shocking fact about one of the most extreme survival stories. In 1816, known as the Year Without a Summer, a volcanic eruption in Indonesia led to erratic weather patterns. Crops failed and famine struck, leaving the world in turmoil. However, the aftermath also gave birth to a legendary novel, the creation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Who could have guessed that despair would spark creativity at such a monumental scale? As we reflect on global events and little-known histories, it's essential to confront the uncomfortable truth and obscure narratives that define our shared existence. So much of what we believe hinges on selective recall. A history shaped by powerful voices often drowns out the whispers of the overlooked, the marginalized, and the misunderstood. But here's the catch. Understanding history, examining our past, and questioning accepted narratives allows us to infuse deeper meaning into our lives and decision-making processes. Embracing this truth empowers us as individuals and as a society. It all comes back to that defining moment, a typo that could have paved the way to World War III, a reminder of the weight our actions carry. To ponder this is to realize how intertwined we are with those who came before us. Perhaps the unforeseen consequences of a simple mistake send ripples across time. Perhaps they encourage us to foster a mindset that seeks clarity amid chaos. So as you go forth today, remember this. Our past invites us to challenge our perspectives, to question what's presented to us, and to seek truth even in the most mundane of circumstances. Every small choice matters, every opinion counts, and every piece of history shapes our trajectory. Remember, as we unearth the past, we are not merely passive recipients of information. We become active participants in the narratives we choose to celebrate and uphold. If you've enjoyed this exploration of the frailties and failures of our historical narrative, don't forget to subscribe for more hidden historical gems. Like and share this with your friends who love a good mind-bending story. Who knows? The next fascinating fact could be around the corner, waiting to change our understanding of the human experience. Let's keep the curiosity alive and continue this journey of discovering the extraordinary in the ordinary.